Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Do you desire to belong to a community of unity? Visit KOGpassion.com to learn more about the Unleash Your Dopeness movement.
And welcome back to Intermission. I am your host, Jarvis Ziggy Newsome. You can find me on IG at Ziggy the Lionhearted, and with me is the Ponytail Bandit.
Yo, why'd you call me out for that?
I had another name for you, but I completely forgot the moment I walked into the studio.
I heard you feels crazy as shit right now. But what's up, though? I'm the Ponytail Bandit. You can find me at Howard Jerome on Facebook and Howard_Jerome on Instagram. Thank you guys for tuning in. Another episode of Intermission.
You know, I was going to call you Howard Odin's son.
Well,
he had the hair growing, you got the beard back.
That would play into what Jada's trying to come up with these, like, Halloween. She actually has some pretty good ideas. We're either going to do Kiss or Avengers. I think I'm going to be Kiss, though.
That would be pretty dope.
She was like, she doesn't think I'll wear all that leather and makeup, and she was like, damn right I will.
Actually, if we
to work one day like that.
If our wedding wasn't as late October as it was, we was going to have Snake Eyes in the Baroness.
Nice.
So that was actually our thing. Yes, this is the show. Welcome, people. How you been, man?
Good, dude. Actually, I'm just getting over a cold, but pretty good, man. Busy working. Finally saw BlacKkKlansman. Great fucking movie. More about that later.
Yeah.
But trying to just catch up on shit. Fucking Abner Brown, Bert, has been trying to get me to watch Better Call Saul, and he keeps sending me these little snippets of the show, and I'm sold. I just gotta find the time to watch it.
Like, that is so, like, that's one of the hardest things we have with this show. It's so much. Jada told you to be Aquaman.
Yeah, she keeps saying that. I told her, yeah. I told her I was going to get my hair blonde and stuff. She's like, no, not that Aquaman. I was like, dog, I'm not playing my little brother.
Brr.
Yeah. So, you know, it's whatever. Yeah, she's still trying to get me to do that.
Well, I mean, we've been, like I said, we get so many good ideas for stuff to watch. A lot of times we just don't quite have the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I'm still catching up on Westworld, and I still have Suits and Buildings and Legion and Miss
Right.
All these shows that I already am invested in. I'm so far behind on.
But I also tell people, like, I watch more TV maybe during the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, during the summer, I'm not going to watch it. Yeah. I mean, no one's finna like, hey, let's go to the patio when it's 40 degrees outside.
I just don't have the time right now. I'll probably watch an hour of TV right now.
And then, you know, this past week for me, since the last show, birthday.
Mm. So, happy belated birthday to Jarvis.
Appreciate that.
28.
No, I got too much gray hair for that. I am 38.
Shit, I got gray hair. I'm 28.
But
it's all on the chest though.
It started Thursday, and literally it got to the point where at the beginning of this week I said, you know what, I am done drinking for a month.
Mm-hmm. Join the club.
And not only that, I haven't been able to watch TV. I've had no interest. Today was the first day I actually really got to watch something. I watched the new episode of Castle Rock, and I'll talk about that a little bit later, but we actually have a good Facebook discussion.
Yo, dude, yeah, these two of my favorite actors. One of them was on the show. Actually, they both on two of my favorite shows at the time.
And
speaking of, we got an interesting fact about one of them, but go ahead and introduce what it is.
Well, you know, we done fantasy casting, where we take actors and actresses, put them together, and we ask you how would you like to see them in a TV show, in a movie, and what kind of TV show? What's the story with this? And we got Mahershala Ali and Don Cheadle. Now, the crazy thing is, with these two, Mahershala Ali is actually doing the fantasy casting that I would want them both to do together.
And what do you mean by that?
Mahershala Ali is in season 3 of True Detective, HBO show.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind Don Cheadle and Mahershala Ali in True Detective, maybe in New Orleans, Atlanta, or DC.
Never seen True Detective.
The
I'm not big into cop shows like
The
that.
first season was good. Second season was garbage.
I've heard that, but I just can't. I don't care. Even if it's not like your stereotypical cop show, I don't care.
Yeah.
So about Mahershala Ali, it's not even directly tied to him, but he was in House of Cards starting. What's his fucking name?
Kevin Spacey.
Kevin Spacey. I wanted to call him Kevin Spade for some reason.
Right.
Kevin Spacey. So he had a movie coming out like last week.
Yeah.
You know what it made at the box office?
What?
$182.
What was the movie? Oh, you mean Kevin Spacey did?
Kevin Spacey had a movie that came out recently. $182.
What was the movie?
I don't know, but it was $182.
I want to say I slick heard of this, but
I'll find it real quick. But so if you let me just cut to the point with this. If you had to pick between Mahershala Ali or Don Cheadle for a role, any role, who would you pick?
I can't really. It depends on the role. I think Mahershala can go darker than Don.
Mm-hmm.
Don can go lighter than Mahershala. But they both run that middle ground of being able to take different roles.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both Oscar winners. You know, Don Cheadle for Hotel Rwanda and Mahershala for Twilight.
Yeah, but he got supporting actor in that role, right?
What?
Mahershala. Pretty sure he got supporting actor.
Oh, I think it is supporting.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see because we're about to see him in his starring role.
Right.
And that's going to be something we haven't seen yet.
Right.
And I think that's going to be the true test to see what his star power is. It looks good already.
It looks good.
The Green Book. I mean, it looks like a pretty interesting movie. But the thing that I would want to see, though, is seeing them both. So the thing we see Don Cheadle in most now is playing War Machine.
Yeah.
And even then, he doesn't really get that much screen time. I want to see him in more of a role like he plays in House of Lies. I want to put that on a big screen.
Yeah.
I think that would be good because he doesn't really have. It's not like Hotel Rwanda. I can't really think of any like really big movies that he's been in.
He sort of does like Mahershala. Like he's there. You know, he's a complimentary piece in the Ocean series.
Mm-hmm.
So he's sort of just under the radar enough to be noticed, but not enough to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, he's always playing the support, and that's. I think he's a pretty decent actor. There was some movie he played a thug in too. That was hilarious. He was like a drug dealer, but
Brooklyn's Finest with Wesley Snipes.
Yeah. So I do watch some cop movies, but
and like I said, I would want them as like if it wasn't True Detective, I'd just make the movie out of it. I don't know why. I sat up here and dialed the whole fucking story on the way here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Put it in D.C. A girl gets murdered. These are the two detectives.
What are their names?
I don't know their names.
You had all the details, man.
Not that detail.
It matters. It matters.
Find out that the girl is the love child in an affair from a senator. A senator that's about to make a presidential run.
Mm-hmm.
So, is this a simple murder? Or is this a senator trying to clean up loose ties before he makes a run at the
You really
presidency?
did think this out.
Huh?
You really did think this out.
Right, I know. I was like, oh, fuck, I need to write this shit. What's up,
right.
Juniors?
So let's say you've got Don Cheadle and Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Similar thing, they're in a cop film, but it's Bad Boys, and instead of Will Smith, it's Martin Lawrence is them two. Who's gonna play Will Smith's role? And who's gonna play Martin Lawrence's role?
I would give Will Smith's role a little bit more to Mahershala because he's a little bit more suave.
Mm-hmm. You think so though? I mean, Don Cheadle was pretty smooth in House of Lies.
He's smooth, but he's also more comedic than Mahershala.
Mm-hmm.
So he'll be able to take a little bit more of the Martin role than Mahershala would.
Okay. I'm trying to think of a few.
You know, Mahershala's damn near, like, he's got the voice of damn near Billy D. Williams now. When he talks, you know, you're like,
Yeah.
you know, he's doing voiceovers for everything now. So, I that's how I would do the two if it was a Bad Boys themed movie.
In the Star Wars universe, who do you think would get a role first?
Mahershala.
So you're just slanting towards Mahershala, period.
No, for darker stuff or more gritty, intense. I have to go to more. I don't want to say urban intense, but
James Bond, who would you pick out of them two? Those are your only two options. Don Cheadle, Mahershala Ali. And it's not. I'm trying to think of what era James Bond.
I can't.
You gotta pick one though.
No, I can't. This is one I can't do.
If it was like a more campy version, I'd probably go Don Cheadle.
It's like I said, he can do lighthearted better than Mahershala.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen him do lighthearted. House of Lies, as good as it is, a lot of times it's lighthearted in nature. It's funny. We laugh.
But see, if you look at him with War Machine now, they've been trying to make him act more seriously, and we've seen him act seriously in like Hotel Rwanda.
Right. I mean, he's got a lot of serious credits. Let me pull him up real quick.
His last few things have been pretty comedic, though.
Crash.
Which Crash was he in?
The Crash.
Because there's two movies named Crash, and then they're like completely different movies.
The Crash. Oh no, is that the same? What the fuck one? No, that's the one that's known. The one with Andy Newton and all them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is he a detective in that? No, he's Andy Newton. Wasn't he Andy Newton's
He's a
husband?
detective. He's a detective. I don't know why I jumbled those words up.
Wasn't he? No, I couldn't. Who was Andy Newton's husband? That was Terrence Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we got Crash. Let me see. They got him known for a lot of stuff that I was like, I didn't know he was known for that. Wow, he voices Donald Duck.
In what?
Some Mickey Mouse TV series.
See,
And they brought DuckTales back, and he came in as Donald Duck.
there was he was in a biopic recently.
Mouse ahead.
Yeah. And I think that was a little risky because that movie got panned.
Well, they saying it was like, and he doesn't really talk about it too much, but someone said like the studio had to inject some white-hearted comedy into it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who knew Miles Davis came out against that. Like Dick Gregory was furious
Yeah.
when he saw that.
There was the same thing similar with going on with All Is By My Side
Yeah.
with Andre 3000
Right.
playing Jimi Hendrix, and they were universally panned. There's a lot of stuff that they put in that are just complete bullshit.
He was on Drunk History playing Frederick Douglass. I got to find that episode.
He's in Swordfish, too.
Yeah.
See,
Traitor.
so they're about on the same level, though, as far as
I remember
movies and stuff.
You remember the movie with Adam Sandler, Rain Over Me?
Never seen it. I haven't even heard of that.
It's actually one of Adam Sandler's more serious movies. He plays a guy with like PTSD and dissociative disorder after his wife dies.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps going back to his one friend who is Don Cheadle.
See, I think before I can say who I would think is a better actor, because even if you go through there, he doesn't have too many leading roles either.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Mahershala Ali, his new movie that's coming out.
Right.
How he does with being that being his leading role, especially because I mean you get an Oscar. You got an Oscar for Hotel Rwanda, right? I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
And you don't have any major starring roles after that. That just seemed odd to me.
It does.
He would have been good at playing Wolf of Wall Street. He actually is supposed to have a movie actually coming out with him playing a Black Wall Street guy.
Yeah. All right, but before we continue, this portion of the show is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. Did you know that only 4 states in the United States offer financial education? 33% of Americans don't pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans carry credit card debt from month to month. And 39% of adults say they don't have enough savings. Don't become one of these statistics. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling your complimentary personal financial strategy. Contact Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463 or email at info@houstonhousewivesoffinance.com. Ask us how you can participate in a complimentary financial literacy workshop near you. Houston Housewives of Finance are the new faces of the new age of financial services. So, basically, what it boils down to with these two, I think we would want to see them in something serious.
Honestly, I'd actually like to see them go head-to-head against each other. One being a villain, one being the hero.
I wouldn't mind them just two villains trying to go after the same goal.
In like what way?
Maybe two leaders of bank robbers crew trying to get to the same heist.
Like an Ocean's type scenario.
Huh.
They did that in one of the Oceans. When that French guy was trying to get the same diamonds.
Yeah, but less done better, basically.
I thought that would be kind of convoluted. Because then who is going to play the leading role of the detective that's trying to stop them?
Well, that's the
Hugh Jackman.
If he keeps his natural accent.
Yeah, for sure.
Because sometimes his English accent gets a little...
No, I want them all. Yo, he's another wait, there's an American actor right there, Don Cheadle. He plays a British dude.
He does play pretty good.
See, there are more American actors that play British people.
Who's the what's the Mr. Robot kid? Rami
Malek.
Let him be the detective.
Dude, I want to see him as a villain.
I think he'll be so.
I mean, I guess kind of Mr. Robot's kind of a villain.
You know what? That'll be next week's casting. Him and I'll add two others.
But who would you compare to him though? There's not many like.
What do you mean?
If I were to send him put him in like a vein of actors, it would have to be someone who is like a method actor, like someone like Edward Norton.
I will.
I think not saying that their styles are similar, but that they play kind of those kinds of roles.
He takes such different roles, in my opinion.
But he's a method actor though, for sure.
Would you say Oscar Isaacs? Because everything Oscar Isaacs do, he goes pretty intense into.
Let me see. I'll have to mull that one over.
Heck, that might be the fantasy cast next. Rami, Oscar Isaacs. And we'll throw one more.
See, so my thing with him is that the only role I think I even liked him in really is Ex Machina. Because like Poe Dameron isn't like that big of a role.
No.
Who did he play? Was he Apocalypse in X-Men?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, see.
But like inside Llewyn Davis, I know like he literally learned the guitar. And he's got a new movie coming out, Operation Finale. That has my interest. Almost made the trailer for today.
Mm-hmm.
So
I haven't seen enough of his work. Like I never saw that Robin Hood movie. That movie looked like trash. I just had no interest in that.
Which Robin Hood?
The one with him and Russell Crowe.
The Russell Crowe? He was in Robin Hood?
Mm-hmm.
That actually was probably one of my favorite Robin Hood movies.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, that movie, I don't know, dude. I heard such bad things about it.
You watched it?
No, I had no interest in watching it.
Yeah. I put it like this. I will watch that one again before I watch this new one coming out.
Would you watch that movie or King Arthur with Charlie Hunnam?
Robin Hood. Because theirs is...
When you say this is your favorite Robin Hood movie, what Robin Hood movies are you comparing it to?
Let's say...
Because they've all been trash.
Kevin Costner. That was the one that really had the resurgence of Robin Hood.
Trash.
Right.
I don't think there's been a good Robin Hood movie. And I tried to watch like the comedy one with Dave Chappelle's in it, Men in Tights. Yeah. I couldn't even get through it, man. It was so bad.
I think, like I said, this one is a good one, in my opinion. Because it doesn't sort of mystify him like most of them do. Like, oh, he's Robin Hood. He can do this. He can do that. Like, no, he gets fucked up quite a few times. Like,
I'm just not a fan of Russell Crowe.
He
I don't think he's that good of an actor.
he can hit and miss with me.
Yeah. Whatever.
So you know what? They'll probably be part of next week's cast. And Rami, Oscar, and I'll throw one more person in. Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot?
Yeah.
How would she fit in that?
I'm not picking anyone by random. I'm picking this by random. Well, you know what?
I was like, wait a second. That's
I'm picking
terrible. Man.
in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say non-Caucasian.
Interesting. I'm gonna think about that.
Or I can go Natalie Portman.
These are like all these actors and actresses to me, minus Rami. They're all, well, I guess Gal Gadot. No, she's still fucking lackluster to me too. She's improving.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see how she does. But I feel like Rami Malek is like a lot better than all those actors and actresses. Natalie Portman's okay, but I find her boring. I like her better not acting when she's like at talk shows and shit. I think she's very charismatic.
Yeah.
In her interviews. I don't really like any of her movie roles.
Yeah.
What was that one that she did with the aliens? And they were doing the little circle thing. That was her, right?
Oh, the new movie, Annihilation.
No, that's not what I was thinking of. Who was the actress that played in the alien movie that came out like 2 years ago? It was like a giant ship just appeared and they got in there, and then like
that sphere.
What was like
That's old girl from Man of Steel, Amy Adams.
Yeah, it was Amy Adams. Yeah.
I forgot the name of that movie, but yeah. 'Cause to me, that's one person that just can't really. She plays the same kind of style of actress.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
even her facial expressions are always the same.
Arrival's the name of the
Arrival.
movie. Yeah. Well, she for sure is pretty one-dimensional. The thing that I really liked her in was Nocturnal Animals. Her and Jake Gyllenhaal.
I haven't finished it.
That movie is so good.
I always watch it, start watching it late at night and fall asleep.
See, that was my problem with Westworld. But so Jada got the movie. I hadn't even heard of it.
Right.
And she fell asleep and I watched it. I was sitting on the edge of my seat the whole time.
I heard it because
great.
Because they said Gyllenhaal was like.
He's one of my favorite actors. Have you seen
I think
Nightcrawler?
Yeah, I did see that.
Like that movie.
I do think maybe he'll be in there. We'll see who's casting choice for next week.
Joker.
I don't know. I'm interested in him playing Bizarro.
First off, are you saying that as if that's who he's casted as, or are you saying that
he's been in talks?
He could play Bizarro.
He's been in talks to join them as Bizarro, which is funny because you remember he almost replaced Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man.
That would have been a bad idea.
Because considering how like they look damn near related.
Yeah, but he needs to play a strange character. Like Nightcrawler, he had this weird, like his whole persona was this weird obsessed guy and psychopathic. In Donnie Darko, he was this other. Like he always plays these guys who have some kind of social anxiety and they don't connect with people very well. He does that very well.
He does. But also
and Bizarro would be right up that alley.
I also think he plays though. Not necessarily. I think that's why the whole Spider-Man thing sort of seemed okay. Because this ain't the typical superhero. This is a guy who has issues.
Yeah, but Spider-Man's a lot more lighthearted than what he is, too, though.
Well, we've seen him do lighthearted before.
In what?
Hey, honestly.
Not in Brokeback Mountain, not in Nightcrawler, not in Nocturnal Animals. I can't think of any roles where I'm like, I leave with a happy feeling from him, you know? He plays kind of those dark roles that are, like, to be honest, lack hope. That's the best way I can put like my images of him is that he plays roles that don't necessarily make you feel any kind of like happiness type things, you know?
Okay, I did see Love and Other Drugs. I saw that. That was a rom-com. Brothers was pretty. That's one of my favorites with him. That's what I wouldn't mind seeing them act some more together, because that was one with him and Tobey Maguire. He plays the brother. Tobey is presumed dead.
Zodiac, end of watch, the day after tomorrow.
Okay,
Life. I didn't see that one. Prince of Persia. Have you ever seen that movie? hot garbage. Hot garbage, man. Oh my god. And that was like him trying to play a role. Oh, I guess he was in Octa. I never saw that though.
Well, October Sky. I think like I said, because that Spider-Man came out in what, like 01?
Yeah, he was in City Slickers.
Like I said, he's been acting since a kid, so.
Yeah.
But I want to say the October Sky is sort of what got him the look. Playing the little nerd, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, if you go through his like catalog, though, he plays a lot of like dismal type roles.
I think now, once he grew up past that, he did. But at the time, because you got to remember, the Spider-Man incident, that happened after the first movie when Toby did Seabiscuit.
Mm-hmm.
And he fractured his back. So it was for the second Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, but even his younger roles are still kind of like, he's got some like silly. See, you know who it makes me think of though? He's like a darker version of old boy from American Pie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Biggs.
Yeah.
He's like the dark version of Jason Biggs, like the darker persona.
I remember Josh and Sam. I remember Bubble Boy. So basically, the dark stuff starts.
Wait, he played Bubble Boy?
Yeah, he was Bubble Boy.
Oh, dude, this whole time I've been thinking it was Jason Biggs. Okay. That was such a stupid movie.
Yeah.
That movie was terrible.
By the time he starts going dark, I want to say that Spider-Man was already done. I'll give it to Jarhead, which sort of led him start the dark path.
Nah, dude, Donnie Darko was out before Jarhead. And
Yeah.
Donnie Darko was dark as hell. That was
And he got
2001.
Bubble Boy right after it.
When did Bubble Boy come out?
2001.
Oh, yeah, it's the same year.
And then he got Day After Tomorrow in 04.
Which one came first, though? Bubble Boy or Donnie Darko?
What?
That's what matters. Wait, tomorrow.
Day After Tomorrow is
That was a dark movie, though. His role, he was playing the scientist that no one would listen to. His wife and all them thought
he was
crazy.
the kid.
Yeah, okay. So his dad.
So he was the nerd.
Yeah, and he was isolated by himself for a while until he made up with some group because his parents and shit got separated from him in the middle of the end of the world. That's still a darker role. It's not a happy, hopeful role.
I can't call that role dark.
Darker compared to Bubble Boy for sure. What I'm saying is that the roles that he plays, they always have somebody who's like in some impossible, hopeless situation. That's a hopeless situation right there. The world freezes over and everyone you know dies, and when your dad's trying to save them, they don't believe him. That's pretty hopeless. You don't think that's a hopeless situation to be in? The world's about to end?
Well, hell, what the hell is Spider-Man? Fighting
But
these.
Spider-Man's character, though, is not a hopeless character, though. That's the thing I'm talking about. Is that like the roles that he plays majority of the time?
Yeah.
There's somebody who you're not thinking that they're gonna make it to the end of the movie. Donnie Darko, let's say your Bubble Boy came out, he dies at the end of the movie. Southpaw, the dude loses everything. That's why he becomes a great fighter.
Right.
Nightcrawler, he becomes somebody who descends into darkness because he's trying to get the best shot.
Let's go before 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
He doesn't have very movies before 2005.
Well, like I said, we're talking about that Spider-Man, that second Spider-Man.
Check out Proof, 2005.
Let's see. So we got October Sky, Donnie Darko, Bubble Boy, Day After Tomorrow.
And you got Proof.
And Proof.
Mm-hmm. That's a drama and mystery film that he plays in. He's not a hopeful, evoking character.
I think he can.
He does. Well, I'm saying he doesn't though. I'm sure he can because he's a good actor.
He doesn't.
But that's
now.
not his thing though. That's like
anymore.
I mean, compared to his whole catalog, it wasn't his thing. He has a few one-offs, but the majority of his catalog are these like darker characters.
I'm thinking about when that Spider-Man 2.
Mm-hmm. Even with those 4 movies,
those
though.
one-offs.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those are about that time with that Spider-Man 2. When he would have been needed.
And those movies, Donnie Darko, Proof. What was the other 2?
Bubble Boy, October Sky.
Mm-hmm.
Day After Tomorrow.
And Jarhead. That's 2005.
This 2000. Okay. We are running way past on Facebook Live. You know what? Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
We're done, Facebook Live.
The good girl.
Subscribe to our show on all major platforms: iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Review our show on iTunes. If you're on Facebook checking us out, make sure you share this with your family and friends so they can see this show, and give us money at www.thesphere.tv/donate, because we need money. Single donation, or you can go on the subscription donation on Patreon. Thank you for checking us out. We're going to wrap this part up, but make sure you check the full show when it drops.
Let us know what y'all think about Jake Gyllenhaal.
All right. Okay. Let me see here. I'm trying to find a Spider-Man.
While you're looking for that, because
right.
we got to catch up to everything.
Right.
This portion of the show is sponsored by The Sphere. Are you starting your business and looking for a place to advertise? Do you have a need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at The Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivery platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States, as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is surely to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv.
Okay, take Jarhead and Proof out of it. Spider-Man 2 came out in 2004.
Okay. And then still look at his roles, though.
Bubble Boy, Donnie Darko, October Sky, Josh and Sam.
I don't know what the fuck Josh and Sam is.
I actually remember that.
What's it about?
One boy discovers that another little boy, if I'm not mistaken, is a robot. It's one of those weird little fun movies.
Highway, 2002. Josh and Sam was 93. Jimmy Glick and Lala Wood. Homegrown.
Yeah, but in Jimmy Glick, he played himself.
I don't know, man. Lovely and Amazing. What are these fucking movies?
So, like I said, he stayed a little bit lighter in the beginning, but he definitely went dark. Well, I think once Proof and Jarhead hit, after that, no, he stayed dark. So that part I agree with. Anyways, I think he'll be an excellent Bizarro. Now,
100% for Bizarro. He plays these weird ass acting roles.
But so I did watch this week's Castle Rock. Biggest problem I've had with the show is it was definitely slow developing. This week, this Wednesday, the episode drops every Wednesday. This week makes the 7th episode. I don't know how long the season is, but you're starting to see the kookiness of this town now.
Oh, yeah?
Like, you really start to see it the last episode. This episode took one character's perspective, and you really start to wonder. Like, Sissy Spacek plays the mother of, I forgot the black actor's name, Andre something, because they adopted him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in the current time, she's basically early onset dementia / Alzheimer's.
He's going to have 10 episodes.
But this episode makes you question if it's really Alzheimer's or not. Because her grandson, played by the kid Mike, who played Mike on It.
Mm-hmm.
He's in it. So I don't think his name's not Mike in the show. It would have been crazy if his name was Mike. But he gives her a theory, and she runs with it.
What's the time period that they're in?
They're in current. It's present day. Because like I said, all this shit in Shawshank has happened in the past.
Mm-hmm.
That was supposedly kick off this really bad run for Shawshank. And it all sort of centers around Shawshank a little bit, in the town that Shawshank draws most of its employees from, which is Castle Rock. Like this current episode has some Pet Cemetery themes to it.
Have they made any references to any of the other shows in the last few episodes? Like any of the other movies or any of the
Well, like I said, they don't flat out say it. But like I said, like this episode that dropped this week, there was definitely some Pet Cemetery stuff you had to start to wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Like, spoiler alert, there's a dog she had from when her adopted son was young.
Mm-hmm.
It supposedly ran off. Well, she keeps waking up in different realities. And one reality is she wakes up after they killed the dog, but the dog is right there by her bed. And she's not sure if it's her, but it doesn't seem like it's her because it's way after the dog was supposedly dead.
This show makes me think of what's that fucking show? American Horror Story.
I could see a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's definitely interesting. I'm gonna stick with it. One, I'm a Stephen King fan. You know, I read a lot of his stuff, and I want to see where it goes.
Oh shit, man! They're almost at the end of the season.
Well, like I said, it's starting to explain itself a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So I got it from the next 3 will probably ramp it up. Maybe so. Well, like I said, I just hate it sort of took this long to get it started.
Yeah.
You know, normally with most shows, especially beginning shows, by the 3rd or 4th episode, you start to see what's going on. Westworld.
So I gotta change my whole thing about Westworld. I kept saying that the first episode sucked, but now I realized I only watched the first 15 minutes of it, and I fell asleep in the first 15 minutes of it. Westworld is actually way more interesting in the first episode than I gave it credit for.
Yeah.
This season, now that I'm on season 2, is
It's a little loopy.
yeah. It seems like they got kind of like they've gotten away from the core material.
It's loopy, but I will say the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, I'm like halfway through. I'm on like
Yeah.
episode 6, I think.
Yeah, the last 3 sort of lays it all out why it's loopy.
Yeah. So I mean, it still has my attention. It's
Yeah.
just I'm not on pins and needles like I was first season. It seems
Like I said, it's gonna be
the writing didn't seem.
it's
as
gonna be
good.
an episode that puts you back there. I will say that. There will be an episode in the second season that will give you sort of that same feeling.
Is it after they go to Saigon World and
Yes.
the geisha's daughter is killed?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it quickly after that? Because that's where I'm at now.
Like I said, I can't recall because I was watching it while it was going on. You know,
Mhm.
so
So I saw BlacKkKlansman the other day, and I know I'm a little late, but holy fuck, that's a great movie. I think I was telling you before, but there was a lot of drama circulating around the movie. I couldn't even say a lot, but one of the director for Sorry to Bother You wasn't really a big fan of this telling. But I gotta say, I know going into it, I was worried about Spike Lee, kind of harping on the point of what he was trying to get at, and he does that, but he does it so much more refined in this movie. Like there's scenes where he's showing like an article
yeah,
from somebody being lynched and all this.
yeah.
Or when, actually, better example is Stokely Carmichael's at the Black Student Union, and
Yeah.
he's talking about getting away from this Western ideology of what beauty is and why black is beautiful and all this good stuff. And they just pan around the audience.
Yeah.
But instead of just going like, oh, look at all of these black folks, you get groupings of 2 or 3 as if they were taking like a still shot, silhouetted in the back. You know that scene in Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody where it's like all 4 band members sitting there and they're superimposed on this black screen singing?
Yeah.
He does like that. And they fade in and he shows different features of black people. And it's like he does it throughout the movie when he's trying to highlight a point.
Right.
It's not him just beating the point over and over again. It's like he decided to take sub-points and point them out, and then he highlights them. Like there will be like these awkward moments where you just hear nigger, nigger, nigger way too many times, and you're like, okay, he's drawing our attention to something. And it's like, all right, cool, that makes sense. Or them highlighting on another racial slur or a specific aspect of a story, and it's like it's overt that, hey, you need to watch this. So it has like some of the stylizations that he uses from like Do the Right Thing. You can see that those kind of camera tricks that he uses and his
Right.
camera style. That plays really well, but his storytelling, I think, has evolved a whole lot more.
Okay. So, because that's one of the issues I have with Spike, you know,
Mm-hmm.
the whisper so loud technique that he has.
Yeah, see, he doesn't do it like he does it, but it's not an egregious thing. And it doesn't. It's not like
All the time.
yeah, it's not like Matrix when think of it like Matrix 1. They introduce bullet time to you, and you're like, holy shit, that's cool. And they do it throughout the movie with lots of parts where there's not that. And it's
Right.
just like a little bit of it. Not Matrix 2, where it's like, holy shit, we're walking in bullet time.
Right.
Like, that's how he does this one. Is like, this is Matrix 1. It's just enough to where you can think and appreciate what he's doing with that. But then there's these large spaces throughout the story. Because the movie clocks in, I think, like 2 hours and 10 minutes. And I think there was only one part of the movie I didn't like. And that was, like, part of what this drama was about the movie. And that's, like, this little raw portion about, like, the cops and all that. But he does a good job of showing two opposing ideas.
Yeah.
And that's of black radicals and white radicals.
Yeah.
And showing these ideas, and then you have Ron Stallworth, who is in the middle.
Gotcha.
And you've got these two ideas of him trying to be not necessarily not a white supremacist by any means, but warring with these cops who are corrupted and trying to deal with being in the Blue Brotherhood, and then dealing with his identity of trying to be black. So being mainstream and accepting his blackness. And he does a really good job of having him play kind of like walking that line of that. So I was thoroughly impressed.
I'm gonna check it out. Like I said, that's always been my issue with Spike. So
Denzel Washington's son's gonna be. I think he's gonna be pretty big. The only thing that he sucked at, this accent that he uses. He has like his black voice and his white voice, and I honestly think that's why the people from Sorry to Bother You, kind of like have like a problem with it, because they also talk about black voice versus white voice, and so they always say, hey, you can speak the King's English and he can speak jive, but like his King's English voice, his white voice, is so awkward.
So yeah,
it's so awkward, but it grows on you throughout the movie. But I was thinking about it the whole time. I was kind of just like, man, you're really trying hard to have a white accent right now, and I don't know if it's like was intentional, but it definitely stands out.
Yeah. So like I said, I'm gonna check it out probably tomorrow, because I'm checking out. It's two completely different movies. I'm gonna check out Happy Time Murders.
Yo, I'm seeing
Friday.
that this weekend. Yeah, that's gonna be good.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I've heard good things about it. I usually don't listen to a lot of people, but I've heard good things about it. Only a few people know like how I watch movies and all that. And someone said like, only one person like, it's gonna slightly bother you, Jarvis, because he still does the whisper so loud technique.
So I don't think he does it that much.
So
especially when you compare it to like his old other movies, I think he uses a lighter hand with that. This portion of the show is sponsored by KOG and Company. Are your unique gifts and talents changing the world? Unleash Your Dopeness is a people empowerment movement built to encourage the masses to operate outside of their fears and have the gall to recklessly pursue their dreams and passion in life. Join thousands of others as we unlock the greatness that dwells inside. Shop dope gear at KOGpassion.com. That's KOGpassion.com and use coupon code DOPE for 10% off exclusive Unleash Your Dopeness apparel. Act now. Sizes are selling out fast.
do it. All right. Trailer. You probably haven't seen it, so we're going to have Elijah, because he's earned his name this week, roll that trailer, which is actually the official trailer for Iron Fist 2, Season 2. And
I was looking at something about him actually the other day.
like
His power level, apparently, he's really, really high up in the Marvel universe as far as power goes.
he is. And I'm interested in this second season. For one, it's new showrunner, new fight choreography, and you can tell that just from this preview. But basically, he's gotten to this point like he has to go out into the streets and protect. And I guess he doesn't introduce his name every time, which is good.
I am the Iron Fist.
I
am from heaven.
Like, but this guy's basically one of the guys from Cologne that trained with him, who now has the exact same power.
And this is who he's going up against?
Yeah. See, yeah, that's them training. And that's the, I like that because that was the comic book look right there.
Yeah.
Can you keep it rolling? Yeah, let's keep it rolling. So, yeah, like, and they discovered, like, this guy has basically killed others to obtain this power.
So he's not necessarily
Iron Fist, but he's got the power. See, yeah, his fist is red compared to the yellow. So I don't know if he's more powerful or it's an alternate fist or something, but it looks interesting. Just looking at the fight scenes right here, it definitely has my attention because you can tell the fight choreography is different.
Yeah, they're not doing that slow motion type shit where it's like
Right.
you do a move, then I do a move, then you do a move. Like
There's gonna be one scene near the end of the trailer that they're going flat out full steam, and I was like, okay, I'm willing to give it a shot. Hopefully, it holds my attention.
Elijah, you took it off. I wanted to see it.
Oh yeah, that was the end of it.
I still think old boy who plays Arrow would have been a better fit for that role. Though.
I agree with that. The thing is, I mean, did they want to spend enough money to get him away from Arrow?
Probably should have, because I think he was limited in his abilities with Arrow. Because as much as I liked the show and the storyline was good, their fucking acting, like some of the acting was terrible, and a lot of the fight scenes were garbage.
I blame that just CW.
For sure, it's 100% CW's fault.
Yeah. I mean, CW doesn't know, obviously, when to end the show. Supernatural. But Supernatural's still good.
Hell no, Supernatural was still great. I
Yeah.
mean, they had a season, like one of the mid seasons when they had the Leviathan, that was trash. But then like the following 3 seasons after that,
I heard,
great.
yeah. So
The Leviathan was one of the worst seasons of TV show I've ever seen. They just eat everything.
and I think that's just good creative writing there.
Mm-hmm.
Smallville ran too long.
Mm-hmm.
I say it ran about 2 seasons too long. It was good until they start trying to incorporate way too many other characters.
Mm-hmm.
So
But see, I can't hit CW too much because they saw Legends of Tomorrow was trash. I'm pretty sure they took that off.
no, it's coming back.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That show was trash.
Uh,
That show was trash for season 1. Yeah. Did you ever keep up with Black Lightning?
no,
It's on Netflix now.
I may give it another shot. It's just like I said again. One of the worst things for me watching a lot of so-called message stuff is to whisper too loud. That was one of my main issues with that first season of Luke Cage. They toned it down a little bit, but I was talking.
What do you think the message was in Luke Cage, though? Because I didn't get that vibe from it.
Well, they would try to talk about all black authors and stuff like that without giving context or something. Like, have you read this? No, I haven't read this. But so-and-so did a better book than this. And I was like, y'all just throwing names out? And my mom caught it.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, we understand you're trying to show, promote a lot of stuff, but put context behind it. Don't just throw a lot of stuff at people and leave it out there. So that was one of my issues with that. Black Lightning has some of the same issues, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But again, my biggest problem was I don't think Black Lightning should have been a show. If all of the Black DC comic book characters that CW chose to do, the most obvious one was Static. I think Static would have made for a better show.
Static Shock?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, his cartoon was great.
Right. So imagine you get to put Static.
It's the same kind of character, too. That's the crazy part. You had a better option. You went with B-Team.
You really
electric
did.
Black character versus A-Team electric black character. That's fucking wild.
No, it's crazy. We in the comic book group, we discussed like why do so many black comic book characters have lightning, electricity control, storm, Black Lightning, Static. It's quite a few when you really go down the line. So it's either that or Teleport.
Who's got Teleport?
Bishop. You go into some of the lesser comics and a lot of lesser characters. That's pretty much their power. Teleport.
You don't want to be too strong because then they can run over and take over Superman's here. Can't have them too smart.
Which is crazy because one of the DC's characters, they saying it's being argued that he's a black Kryptonian. it may be more powerful than Superman. Because think about it. Scientists say if Superman was real, he'd be black.
It would have to be because of his response to the sun.
Sun, exactly.
Yeah.
So they're saying this character may be the Black Kryptonian that came.
Well, I don't know though. So here's all right. So on a molecular level, what melatonin's purpose is for is to actually block the sun. That's why.
I mean, melanin.
Yeah, when I say melatonin, yeah, my bad. I'm thinking about sleep.
You're right.
Melanin is supposed to block the sun. That's why as you get closer to the equator where there's more direct sunlight, you get darker skinned people, and further away you get lighter skinned people. So I don't know if he would be, well, maybe, because it inhibits your body's ability to absorb sunlight. Because in like the chain of things, too much sunlight destroys vitamin D production.
True.
Well, but if you have a shit ton of it, and you have melanin to block it, you can start producing it from it. I think that's what it does.
Yeah, it's some scientific article about it, but they're saying he would be a darker skinned.
He for sure would be dark. He wouldn't be fucking lily white. That's
Right.
for damn sure.
So-
But I don't know how dark he would be though.
So like, I forget the character's name. Crap, I really do. I can't remember it. But
I can just look it up. Black
he's-
Kryptonian.
he's believed to be. Just look up Black Superheroes DC. Because it's one of the newer storylines they're starting to explore. That he may have been scouting the Kryptonian scouts before Superman.
You know the people from Vathlo Island?
Huh?
Let's see.
Icon. He was a DC milestone. It was a comic book called Rockin' and Icon. He was
That's the guy.
if I'm not mistaken. And crazy thing was he was a Republican. Like
This
he's
dude.
yeah.
I hate his costume.
I hate it too.
That's trash. Oh, they got a picture of him in though. He's 6'8", 290.
Yeah. Icon was a beast,
Augustus Freeman.
a freed slave.
Raised as a slave but escaped through the Underground Railroad. Following a series of events, Augustus decides to become a superhero and eventually joins the Justice League after being drafted by Superman.
So, like I said, that's one of the ones. But it's a lot of different things going on. DC's playing around. Heck, the milestone brand under DC is rumored to be coming back with Static Shock. Or just Static. They ain't gonna call him Static Shock anymore. I think it's just Static now.
That's stupid. Static Shock sounds better.
Mm.
I like Static Shock.
But he's rumored to be the flagship, basically. So we'll see how that goes. I'm definitely gonna check out the new season of Iron Fist. I hope I can watch more than 3 episodes. But I also know Daredevil drops later this year.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, dude. I kind of like Netflix's shows, but not like their superhero shows, but I can't really get into it.
Well, the crazy thing is, there's been articles now saying the problem with Netflix Marvel shows is simply they're too long. The seasons are too long. If you would cut down,
I lose interest.
If you cut down to 10 episodes, they won't have to stretch a story out so hard.
Mm-hmm. I just make them into mini movies, man. Do like with Luther and all that shit they used to do. They give you 3-4 episodes.
Right.
I would prefer that. I prefer my TV series to
Well,
be like that anyway.
you remember I brought up J.K. Rowling last show, how she got some kind of, it's on Stars or Cinemax. I can't remember. It's like Relic. It's Killer backwards.
Interesting.
So, and I think it's J.K. Rowling who's behind it. And it only does 3 2-hour episodes.
Ooh, I hope this isn't her though, because this shit's got some bad scores. 57%.
Let me see here. No, that might be. Let me look at this cast.
She's not credited on this though.
Okay, then that's not it. She has a show, and it's a dark show.
Strike.
Okay. Yeah.
Yo, she actually wrote those books.
So yeah,
So she wrote those novels under a pseudonym, Robert Galbraith.
yeah. And now, like I said, the series is only like 3 episodes a season. I think they're like 2 hours long.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, fine, cool. You basically get
Oh no, it's 7 episodes for the first season.
it is,
Mm-hmm.
but still, that's pretty short.
Yeah, I mean that's digestible.
Yeah. So
It came out last year though too.
I think it's got 3 seasons if I'm not mistaken, or the third season.
No, it's just 1 season. At least what this is saying. They got 1 season, 7 episodes that came out in 2017, but it's just
Cinemax?
released in the U.S. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think I saw them talking about season 3.
It's saying it only has 1 season. So what it is that okay, so it's 1 season, but they're broken up into 3 stories.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah. So you've got the story.
Well,
Episodes 1, 2, and 3 are called "The Cuckoo's Calling." Episodes 4 and 5 are "The Silkworm,"
Yeah.
and then episodes 6 and 7 are "Career of Evil."
Okay. Well, like I said, I know something's gonna come soon.
Yeah, "Lethal White"
Yeah.
is the next one.
All right. So, anyways, you know what? Let's go ahead and wrap this up, man. We had a pretty good show. We got a lot to talk about next show.
I like the names of that.
And like I said, I'll probably try to get started on at least a couple of those.
Go see BlacKkKlansman.
I'm checking it out tomorrow. Happy Time Murders. I'm gonna work on that.
I'm gonna finish up Westworld eventually.
And
I need to go watch it actually.
who knows what else we'll watch in the meantime. So thank you for checking us out. We're gonna get ready to roll. I am Jarvis Ziggy Newsome,
AKA Numbnuts. Yeah. And I'm Howard.
Odin's son.
Odin's son, AKA Lord Ponytail, AKA whatever else you got on there.
We go back to the original, the beige Johnny Cage.
I like Lord Ponytail.
Wait,
though.
put the shades on. You know,
Oh
Johnny
my God,
Cage has
cocaine shades.
dude. If that's not the beige Johnny Cage right there.
All I need now is my polyester shirt. Let the taco meat hang out. That goes.
Well, you know, Johnny Cage was always shirtless anyway,
No,
so
yeah.
that's you all day.
I'm gonna go to Cuba like this, dog. You would find that version of Johnny Cage, the douche. Johnny Cage, the douche.
Right. Anyways, we're out, people. Thanks for checking us out.